Moon stories. 1. I'm kind of a slow kid and don't know much about stars at 5 years old. My friends at school will tell me about wishing on one. I go home and I find the biggest. I cross my fingers and close my eyes and wish and wish and wish for strength and for new toys. I open them and my grandmother is standing there, saying, "Sweetie, that's not a star you're looking at. It's the moon." She points out that the stars are the dots of light next to them, tells me about wishing, tells me that I have to be really, really quiet or else it won't come true. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to the sky. Later on that year, my parents left each other. Now, more nights than not, I look up more often than I don't, but I learned at far too young an age that there are some things wishing just won't fix, too. Americans as a whole don't have a lot of traditions, but one that we seem to share is that we pride people over place when it comes to determining what our home is. My father taught me that the North Star will always guide you to where you belong, and after all these cities and neighborhoods and under the bridge downtowns, I found myself in a place with no friends, no family, just a twin-sized bed and a cell phone that only dials out when I want to forget I have a past, and I try to have meals with friends from high school. But after all these years of growing together, all they taught me was that it's much easier to fall apart and that nothing ever comes whole as easily as it's splintered. 3. It is raining the night my house burns down. I am 14. The water heater that my landlord knew was one shower away from cracking bursts like a thought-blinding levee. Its last song, a tall drink for a God that will never be thirsty. The stress puts my grandmother in the hospital. 3 years later, I'm 17. And for the past 4 years, I've had to awaken at 4 o'clock in the morning because of the wrestling team, the swim team, and never having enough hours in the day to practice. I am not amused getting a phone call at 2:30. It's my sister. Her voice cracks. Her heart feels slant. She has more pauses somehow, like she can't bear the weight of the air on the line. She asks if I've seen my grandmother. I haven't, I say. I roll over, go back to sleep. The house is pitch black. No moonlight, just gravity. 4. I am 19 years old and studying astronomy as a sophomore at UNC. My lab TA does not deal in Pinocchio, wishes, or Disney songs. He plays the soundtrack to the good, the bad, and the ugly while we're doing our work. And he grades way too hard. And he doesn't really know what he's doing. And he's still doing his best, and he reminds me of me ever since my grandmother died 2.5 years ago. I didn't cry for 6 months. Sometimes I think I still haven't. I'm on the bus one night, and the tears start to flow as I remember my grandmother sitting right next to me and giving me my first ever lesson in astronomy, telling me that all we ever really see of stars are the photographs, like Watchmen. She tells me to hold on to memories and to cherish the light after those that we love are gone. 5. She passed away in July. It was a new moon, I think. Even now, 5 years after adjusting to her absence, I can't help but think that maybe this is just a phase, and she's still out there somewhere, alive, and I'm still waiting for this little piece of my home to roll around and come back to me.